3, 2, 1.
Try that again. There we go.
There we go.
All right, we'll go ahead and call our regular meeting of the Wayne County Board of Education to order. It is 6 o'clock. And if you'll stand, we'll say the pledge. So, Dennis, you want to lead us?
I pledge
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. All right, let the record show that all board members are present in person this evening. And we will begin with our items for public comment.
So we published a notice in the paper that the board would receive public comment on the proposed school calendar for the year. The school calendars have been on our website. Is anybody here to address the school calendar? Okay.
Anybody?
We will do at our next regular meeting, we'll do the second hearing and then approval on the same night.
And it goes by popular vote.
Popular vote?
Yeah, and just to let you know, the votes in the calendars were in your packet information. Calendar 1 had received 200 votes. Calendar 2 had received 49 votes. Calendar 3 had received 110 votes. So calendar 1 is the calendar that we're looking at for approval.
Is there really that much difference in all three of them?
In the fourth page is a
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
comparison
Yeah.
Okay, good deal.
for the three that'll make it a little bit easier to look at.
Okay, thanks.
Is the voting period over now?
Yeah, the voting period's on.
All right. Any recognitions this evening?
Yes, I want to mention that, we've been dealing with the water crisis here in Wayne, and we have had some companies that have made some donations to help us ensure that the schools in Wayne were open as much as possible during the water crisis. Those companies include Diversified Gas and Oil. They're scheduled to make a donation this week. Lesage Water made a substantial donation to all of our kitchens at the 4 schools, the 3 Wayne schools in East Lynn, for the cooks to be able to operate. And then AEP has also delivered 10 pallets of water for use by the schools.
Right.
And so I just wanted to thank them for those donations.
Yeah, I can tell you, I'm very familiar with Lesage Water. That's a wonderful facility. It's wonderful people.
Right. Very nice. All right, let's move on to our presentations this evening. We have an academic spotlight with Mr. Trevor Little from Tulsa High School.
So when we were planning this month's, actually, this was one we've been planning for how long?
For probably,
2 months?
yeah, a couple months.
2 months.
Yeah.
We wanted to really talk about, I wanted them to share what they've done with their library and how, in many schools, their library is the heart of your school. So we did a video to start out. and-
Right, so we've got a video that we'll get to, and
Can
it
you
is.
turn it a little bit? Please, so I can move.
There, that's good.
Yeah,
Come on, come on,
that's fine.
So it is, was created by Justin Prince Broadcasting Class and Glen Hayes Entertainment. What they have done is they did they went back and found some footage that we'll start off with of when the school first opened. So this is actual news footage from WSAZ and WOWK TV. It's not that our video quality is poor. That was just the best it was then, right? So you'll see some interviews. We've got some student interviews in there. Along with me tonight is Mrs. Tanya Sloan, who is a social studies teacher at Tulsa High School, as well as the sponsor for our student government. She's going to speak to, kind of where the idea of taking the, what we call the library, the media center, and making it because when I came back from, being gone and not having stepped foot in there in, over, around 25 years, I hate to say, but it looked almost the same as when I left. And it looks completely different now. And so we've got some before and after. We do also this evening, we have Miss Ruth Aceta, who's a student, and she volunteers some of her time in the library and making sure that students are checking out books and really is kind of taking a leadership role with that. Tanya, do we want to play the video first, or do you want to give them a chance to speak and then we'll look at it?
Whatever you want to do.
Ladies, I'm gonna let them hear from you first. So Ms. Sloan, if you want to kind of talk about how this all got started.
Like you said, I have the student government and the student council, and we have every year, we would work to do a community project, and it was the students' idea that we clean up our library, they said. And so we got into, cleaning up the library, and I came across a grant. It was a leadership grant through Marshall University, and we applied for it, and luckily we actually received $4,000 more than what it was actually for. And they called us, and the ideal of the library is that the library is ran by the students. It's like a assimilated workplace. The students are the ones who actually run the library. They're the ones who check the books in and out. They do the upkeep with the library. They help, create some activities to get some things going on in the library. We have about 30 students who have volunteered their time. We've made out a schedule. The students they can't come out of their core classes, but they can their electives. And they give 1 hour a week to the library. And they come in and, they're the ones that really help keep the library up. And, they oversee it. But I mean, it's a work assimilated place. I mean, the students, they know their day that they are to come to work, and they're there. They learn a lot of responsibility. They're becoming more reliable. They learn leadership skills. They work as a team. We've divided them up into job titles, and they appreciated that.
Just to jump in for a second.
Yeah.
They recently sent out letters to
Oh, yeah.
to students who had overdue books, just like in the old days,
Wow.
and then they came just pouring back in. So it was really neat. They're like, here, I've got this letter, and here's my book. Can you make sure it gets to the library to get back in?
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
it.
and the students did that too, and we appreciate the school board helping us to pay for our program that we go online. But yeah, I showed them how to download all that stuff, and they printed off all of the sheets, sent them out to all the students, and yeah, we got a lot of our books back too. But
Excellent.
yeah, the students have jobs. We have some that are designers, and they keep up with our bulletin boards in the library, and then we have one out in the hall. We have some that we call our tech people. They are the ones that do our social stuff online. They also create posters, for any kind of activities that we have going on. Our library, it is used by everybody, everybody. And when we have college representatives come, they always come to the library. When you guys come, you come to the library.
Right.
Yeah. So it's been a good experience for all of the students. And currently we have about 30 some books that are checked out.
Nice.
And it's coming about, and Ruth is going to share with you some things that we have planned for our library.
Most people don't know this, but April is the National Library Month. This year, we are going to be celebrating that by doing a few events that show off our library. Number one is the Masked Reader. We are going to have volunteer teachers come up, and they'll stand behind a panel, and they will read off a poem, their favorite book, or anything that has inspired them throughout their life, and they will read it. The kids will get to sit on the other side, and they'll get to guess which teacher it is.
Nice.
Which, for most of us, because we all love all the teachers, we'll know exactly who it is.
Right.
But this brings in the bonding of a teacher and a student to know that, hey, I like that book too.
Right.
Or, hey, that sounds like a really good poem, which would bring both the students and teachers together, but bring more students into reading. Because, well, most kids my age usually talk like texting
Right.
by spelling you with only a U.
Right.
And that's
The shortcuts.
and this way, if they start reading, their grammar will get better, giving them more college opportunities, more reasons to work, more opportunities to show out and see what these books are talking about. Another one is my favorite, book tasting. We'll make the library into this little cafe, and each table has a different genre, and like mystery, horror, things like that. And kids love that, okay?
Right.
Graphic novels, comic books, my favorite. I would love that. And we get to bring out these books, and like they're in their like little container, and we bring them to it and they get to read it. And after they're done reading it, they have a new genre to look into because
Who knew?
it's a
Right?
genre.
Right.
Like I love myself a new book. I love reading all the time. But it's not only Tulsa High School that we're handling with. We're with the Fort Gay. We're with the public library at the Fort Gay, and they're going to be helping us with Libby. This is, I believe, it's a program, right? Like app that that helps you like return books or read more books, and these kids need books.
Right. Gives you access, right?
And Fort Gay will be bringing in books that we can have more books for people to read, because nothing's better than the real copy.
Right.
Because there might be little Easter hunts in there and things like that. But April isn't the only time we're going to be doing events. Like I brought this up for May the 4th for Star Wars. Or we have Fork and Film. I don't know if you guys know this, but Fork and Film is usually when you watch a movie. And during the movie, they will bring snacks that represent that scene. And it's beautiful. I love a good snack with my movie. Don't we all?
Right.
And this is just all coming together. We have a book club that everybody likes coming to. I got into a new hobby because of my book club called bookmarking, and I love to make bookmarks.
Oh.
I find great interest into that. And we have more students that are just coming into this book club because they're hearing about these new books, and they're like, man, I never heard of that book. Why don't I read it?
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, you get to read now. And that's honestly what we have.
That's awesome.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Just to mention, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
So when I arrived, the books that had been there, many of which for over 30 years, there had been an issue with during one summer, I don't know how far back, but it was that the books had got damaged by mold. So we had to get rid of literally the majority of the older books that were in there. So in many cases, we were kind of starting from scratch. But that also allowed students to see new books, and it's not just the old classics that they're reading in Mrs. Muncie's class or Mr. Copley's class. Which has been really nice. So I'm going to go ahead and have Tanya play the video. Like I said, this video was put together by the students in Mr. Prince's broadcasting class.
There's a new tradition beginning in Wayne County. Beware of the mighty blue and orange of the Tulsa Rebels. This is their home, a spacious $4 million complex on Route 52 between Crom and Fort Gay.
When Tulsa High School opened its doors in 1988, one of the crown jewels of the new school was its state-of-the-art media center. But over the course of the next 3 decades, as technology grew, the Tulsa High School Media Center found itself outdated. But thanks to Mrs. Tanya Sloan and several of her students, renovations have occurred over the last 2 school years to help bring Tulsa High School Media Center into the modern era.
Well, we had a leak with our roof, so we had a lot of our books that were damaged with mold. So we had to remove all of our books. We had to do some deep cleaning with our shelves. We had our carpet removed. We replaced it. We painted the walls. We got all new books in here. So we've done a lot.
The next step for the Media Center is to continue to build the school's library of books into a larger selection while installing all new desktop computers to give both teachers and students access to the latest in both computer hardware and software, enhancing the overall education here at Tulsa High School.
I think it's a really big improvement and it's a lot neater and cleaner than it was.
For Glen Hayes Entertainment, I'm Jessie Green.
That is quite an update.
I mean, it is quite an update. Like I said, when I came back in, it was still the pink carpet was
Right.
in there, the old stacks, and when you see all the tables that were in the library then, and they're all spread out now, you're like, how did all those tables fit in?
That one
You know,
tiny
with
spot.
the shelves and stacks.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great. Anytime you have a space like that for kids to gather and, come together and share ideas and even mentor the younger kids, if we could get some kind of path between Fort Gay Elementary and Tulsa High School and let them read to the younger kids. I think that'd be fantastic. Anytime we can introduce the young ones to the arts and to the books and to the old classics and the new graphic novels, that's always a positive. So thank you very much for all of that and all your hard work, because it's absolutely shows for sure.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, she's on. Fantastic.
The 3 of them. Let's scoot a little closer to
I'll go closer to the sign.
Yeah, but don't block it.
Jeez, she's kind of bossy.
Sideways, no, don't. Turn.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Anytime.
Hold your seats.
Oh, no, you're Trevor, what was the student's name again?
Ruth Aceta.
Ruth Aceta. Ruth, you did a wonderful job.
Fantastic job.
Thank you. I'm thinking an awful lot of them too. I really do.
You did great.
All right.
Great.
That was nice, but we can move on to our good news section. Crum PK 8 recognition.
Yeah, so under good news, Crum pre-K through 8, and I was going to be a little bit more specific about their recognition, but the State Board of Education has asked us to wait. They're going to do an official announcement, but they have a special recognition that's coming up in April. They will be recognized at some members of the staff will be recognized at a West Virginia Board of Education meeting, and I will share more information with you at the in a non-public setting.
Gotcha.
Also on our good news list, we had another coach that has been honored. Mike Hall is the swim coach out at Spring Valley High School. He was named the MSAC Swim Coach of the Year. So congratulations to Mike.
He's okay.
Good job.
And you don't have to recuse yourself.
No. All right, let's move on to our informational items. Special board meeting on Tuesday, February the 17th, beginning at 4 at CK Elementary. And then we will move to CK Middle at 5:15. A regular board meeting on Tuesday, February 24th, here in the conference room at 6 o'clock. Okay. Everybody okay with those?
Yes.
Great. Okay, moving on to our construction project updates.
Yeah, and the information I gave you tonight, the very first page of that is the latest progress meeting agenda from the Sarita Canova alumni gym project. Right in the middle of the page, it just gives you the progress that's been made since the last meeting. That includes electrical wiring that's been pulled through the conduit at the gym floor in the lobby. Ductwork installation is nearing completion. Outside units were set in place, and that's for the heating and ventilation. And there was a first unannounced safety inspection audit was carried out by Mountaineer Safety. That's part of this project. So things are progressing there. And again, we should be finished here. I think we'll probably finish up by April with that project.
Great. And that was one of our MIP projects, right?
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, a large portion of that funding is state funding. And then I wanted to mention as well on your agenda tonight, I mentioned this at the last meeting, I believe, we have a bleacher purchase for Wayne High School. We have flagged some bleachers down there that need to be replaced. They're just too old and are becoming a hazard. So we're going to be replacing 4 sets of bleachers. There are the bleachers that are underneath the overhang. We'll put 2 sets underneath there, and then 1 on the visitor side of the baseball field. And then we're going to replace the other section over at the softball field. We've already replaced 1 there. We're going to go ahead and replace the other one. This purchase is from our cooperative purchasing through Mountain State. It's a really good price. So I was pleased with the price that came in. I really thought it was going to be more than that. Also, in your information I provided you tonight on page 2, I had mentioned that we are going to be doing some lighting work down at the Tulsa High School baseball field. The lights that are on the field are too much for the current wiring, and so we need to replace with LED lights. So on page 2 is and I already see a correction that needs to be made. This is a draft of the spec that we're going to put out. I'll probably put this out tomorrow so we can get prices for installing 8 poles there. The LED lights we have to switch the poles because they have to be higher in the air.
Excuse me, Todd, did you say baseball or football?
Baseball. That's the correction.
Okay. I was
Yeah,
getting confused.
Yeah, it's the baseball field. So there's going to be, we'll replace 8 poles there. And then we're going to purchase the lights separately. Our welding crew will make the brackets for the lights, and then we'll install those on the poles. So that's going to go out for bid by the end of this week. And then finally, we don't have the specs yet. We've got a meeting scheduled Monday with a contractor to look at the work that needs to be done on the drainage at Spring Valley High School for the football field, and then a replacement of a water line at the baseball field. That's work that has to be done, or we're going to end up having some significant problems there. So that'll be the next spec that I share with you.
Okay.
That's everything we've got going on right now.
Okay.
Any questions on any of those construction projects?
Will the maintenance men be doing the installation of the bleachers?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No delegations this evening? Back to the superintendent reports.
Yeah, page 3 of your document. At our last regular meeting, I provided you a FY27 budget reduction planning update. This is the latest document as of today. It's on page 3. That's yours, Dennis.
It's in that one.
And that paper clip
And this
there,
one.
page 3.
Yeah.
Or number 3, not page 3. Each document is numbered.
Yeah.
So again, as we've discussed for several months, our target that we're looking at is a reduction of approximately $4.2 million. It's listed on this paper as $4,189,000. And so the reductions that we've identified so far, with the closure of Genoa and Dunlow, that's projected to save approximately $1.6 million. We have another $197,000 in contract reductions and eliminations that we've identified. We've had $29,000 in utility deductions from moving on from some of the property that was no longer used for school purposes. Looking at the elementary side of things, there's consideration given to the current ECATs that are in place. Last year, we hired interventionists at the third grade level, so we're given some consideration to having interventionists at the second grade level. So those numbers that you see represented there would be the reduction if that occurred. And the reason that you see the elementary professional at 0 is because if that switch did occur, then professional positions would have to be hired. So any eliminations there would be used for those interventionist positions. Secondary professional positions are on page 2. We're looking at approximately $702,000 in reductions from our secondary professional positions. No reductions on the service side there. Administration-wise or non-classroom support that is in the district, that number has raised since I last shared the numbers with you. We've raised that to $603,000. There's been 3 more positions that we've identified, 2 positions that we can switch over to federal funds, and another position that would be eliminated. So that accounts for about 14.75% of the budget coming, or of the reduction coming from administration and non-classroom support. So the total identified to date is at $4,088,000, and the remaining number to target is $100,000. So we are close to be able to move forward with a plan that will get us to the number that we need to be at. Looking at the middle of your page, and again, these are drafts. I'm still going over everything and rechecking everything. And there's a possibility that, some of these numbers will shift, but this is a basic idea of where we are now. So with the loss of 220 students this year, our state funded positions projected for next year are basically 441 professional positions and 307 service positions. And you see what those numbers are with the number of current employees that we have. We currently have 503 professionals, 384 service positions. With the plans that that we just went over with the cuts that we're looking at, it would lower that professional number from a 62 overage number to approximately 36. And it would lower the service overage number from 78 to 46. Going on to page 4, this fits right in with the budget planning. Our personnel season for the year is, the planning is underway. We're looking at delivering letters to employees who are going to be impacted by any cuts or transfers. Those letters will be delivered by the end of the month. These are target dates and they're subject to change. February 24th is what's listed there. We want to get those delivered by the end of the month. And then the hearings, we would look at March the 24th to conduct any personnel hearings that employees would request that are impacted by the process. And then we would follow up with a April 14th board approval date for the RIFs and transfers. And then the board would look at approving probationary contracts and all professional placements on April 21st for people who are transferred to new slots. And again, those dates are subject to change. We just have to have everything completed by May 1st. But that's the basic outline of what we're looking at now. Any questions regarding those numbers? Anything you want us focusing on for the percentages over overall cuts?
I just hate it that we have to do it. Affects people's families, jobs. But we're stuck because we keep losing population.
And as the enrollment drops, we'll have to continue to adjust. And I mean, it's just, it's an every year thing.
Chasing our tail here.
Yeah.
By the way, I did see one typo. The hearings, it said 2025 instead of 26.
Okay.
That's a
Yeah, I
long
see that.
journey.
He's always good at catching those things.
Perfect.
But the good thing about it is that with retirements and positions that open up, you can't put these people in vacancies.
Right.
Like if you
So
you have a
there's-
vacancy for the next year, you can't put them in
You have
it.
to
You
wait.
have to go through a RIF and transfer process, and then the job has to
They
be
have to be
bid.
certified too.
Yeah, the job has to be bid and all that. So when all is said and done, we usually get everybody back in place. There's been few exceptions to everybody not having a
I
full-time
hope
job by
so.
the beginning of the year.
Yeah. I think we only had 2 last year that didn't return, and they didn't return.
Yeah, it might not be where they want to be, but
Right.
They got another job.
They got another job.
Yeah.
So it's just stressful.
All right, next thing in your packet, page 5. So I've seen some discussion online about when students are not attending public school, about districts still receiving money for those students.
Right.
And that's come up in our meeting with the legislators. They've asked that,
Right.
I think they said that the state gets something like 15,000 per student, and that, we're getting 7,000. Where's the other money go? That type of thing.
Right.
So I reached out to the state finance office to ask about how exactly does that work? Because it's my understanding, we get approximately $7,000 per student,
Correct. Total.
but they have to be enrolled. They
Right.
have to be enrolled, and they have to be attending our schools, and they have to be enrolled on October 1st. And that's the money that we get. And if a student's not enrolled, we don't get that $7,000.
Right.
So I had a conversation with them about, it is the things that are being said true about this money coming, even though the students don't attend. So they gave me an example from Kanawha County Schools. And I didn't do this for them, Randy, but I see a typo on this one too.
Hey, you wouldn't want to see all the typos I put out sometimes.
But they sent this example. So basically, when the federal government sends money to the state, that's the title programs.
Right.
And so there is money that comes to the districts based upon the number of children that live in the district,
Right.
regardless of where they attend school.
Right.
So if you are a county that has private schools in your district, then that money that comes in, you are obligated to provide Title I services for those private schools. And those private schools can request that money. Now and I know just from past experience, there's some, they have to sign on to the accountability with the money. There's certain things that are in place, and depending on which administration is in charge at the national level, depends on what some of those things are. They have to agree to all the strings attached with the money, but then they can draw down the money. If you don't have a private school in your district, which we don't,
No.
then that money stays in the title programs. And so here, and then they're supposed to work us up an example for Wayne County to show us exactly how much that would be. But they look at a basic allocation, and here for the sample that they used was Kanawha County Schools. The basic allocation was $890. There's a concentrated allocation. I've never dealt with these terms before. I've never seen these before.
No.
So it's approximately $230. Targeted allocation, $744, and an EFIG allocation.
What's the FIG?
That's a good question.
Okay.
I'm glad you asked that. I was getting ready to.
When we get our numbers, we'll get a full explanation as to what they are. So for Kanawha County Schools, they receive about $2,800 per child that is in those title programs. So there are some monies that are coming in, but those are federal restricted dollars.
Right, earmarked for
They're
whatever,
earmarked for specific purposes. They
cannot be used for
they
anything
can't be
else.
used for personnel unless it's personnel inside of that Title I school,
Right.
that type of thing. So
It has to be a Title I school, which not all of our schools are Title I.
no,
We have specific ones.
Yeah.
Are they nine of them?
gosh, I don't,
Depends.
off the top of my head, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I think it's
there's
less than that. I think it's
seven.
closer to 6 or
I think
7.
it's most of
You
the
mentioned-
elementary schools.
You
Yeah.
mentioned that we have to give money to the private schools or make sure that it's allocated for certain things.
If there's a private
We
school in
get
your
stuck with
district.
them. Well, we don't have it, but if we did, public schools are still getting stuck with providing services for private schools.
Right.
How's that fair?
Well, the money's per child. And so
Yeah,
those
per child,
children
I
are going
guess
to that
that's-
school. So the money follows the child. So there is some truth to the fact that federal dollars do come into the district. But again, it comes in through those federal funds that are earmarked.
Very specific.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Now, when we say that we receive almost $7,000 per student, is that including the title funds?
No.
Because, okay,
No. So we lose 7,000 per, if a student withdraws, we lose
The seven.
$7,000
Okay.
when they're not enrolled the next school year.
right. So that's in addition to this.
Correct.
This money. But this, again, only goes to students that are in title schools.
Yeah.
Not all students.
Correct. Okay, page 6. The water situation in Wayne that has affected Wayne Elementary, Wayne Middle, Wayne High, and East Lynn. As you've followed along, and some of you have lived,
Right?
yeah,
Yes, we have.
they have they've released the water's available for consumption. You have to go through line flushing processes. Now, obviously, for us, that's going to be complicated.
Yes.
So what I have here in your packet is a sample. I asked for our food service, our safety director, and our maintenance to work together to come up with a procedure to make sure that all lines are flushed in the schools before we give the green light on resuming regular use of the water. And so this is a checklist. I just wanted to provide this. This one had been completed by one of the schools and turned in where they had completed a number of the tasks. So this is the process that we're going through. We also have to change filters. Our maintenance have went around. It's my understanding they've drained all the hot water tanks, and then, those have been refilled after they were drained out. We also have to replace filters in the steam ovens. We have to replace filters in the bottle filling stations. That has to occur as well. And then there's filters in the ice makers. So the ice makers have to be cleaned. Colonial, our vendor for our kitchens, is going to have to come in and bring those filters in to change them in the steamer ovens. And so there's a number of things that have to happen before we give the green light on regular use. As of today, we are still operating with bottled water. The kitchens are still using the water from Lesage. We're still using the portable hand washing stations in the building. Matter of fact, we had those, the kids are going through those like crazy. They said they've never seen kids wash their hands like
So
they do
much.
with those portable.
Something new, huh?
Yeah. So anyway, all those things are still in place. I'll let you know when we release the schools to begin using the water, but we haven't done that as
Have
of
you
yet.
got any leads on the criminals that did this and causing all this problem for everybody?
I haven't heard anything,
No.
Dennis.
Not real sure. And then we're under a boil water advisory now.
Yeah. Yeah, we lost water here today, but we contacted the schools and it didn't impact them. I guess where we're up higher. I
No,
think,
I have water too.
yeah.
Did you?
Okay, that's all I have.
Okay. A lot of info there, Tom.
Yeah.
All right. Any board directives or board reports? And we have no unfinished business, so we can move on to our new business, consent action items. Superintendent recommends approval of the following action items. Additional items received prior to the time of the meeting may be added. Discussion and/or separate action of items may be requested by members of the board or the superintendent. Items are subject to change. Any blanks will be filled in prior to the meeting. In the event a nominee withdraws, we reserve the right to put the next candidate in that position. So number one is consider for approval the recommended personnel matters on page 1.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Johnita, second by Mark. Any questions or concerns on those personnel matters?
Yes, one item on page 1 of the recommended personnel items. About the middle of the page, there's a correction to resignation. And it indicates that it was going from the employee for retirement purposes, but then where it's changed, it doesn't say for what purpose. I was informed by somebody, it should have said for resignation purposes. I don't know that myself.
Well, it's got correction to resignation.
Yeah,
But it doesn't say that, where it says effective January 21, 26, it doesn't say for resignation.
yeah, but
purposes.
you're correct. It is for
Okay.
resignation purposes.
I've
Resignation.
asked that that be
Retirement.
corrected.
Gotcha.
No, not for retirement.
Oh, no,
It was listed as retirement previously. It's
they just decided.
it's a regular resignation.
Regular.
Resignation.
I wonder why she retired in the middle of the year.
All right. Any other questions or concerns on those personnel matters
This would be as amended.
as amended? Right, so. As amended. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. For 2, looks like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 through 8. All our minutes. If we can look at those collectively.
Motion.
Motion, Dennis,
Oh, second.
Johnny to make the second.
Yeah.
Any questions or concerns on any of those minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
On page 5, the first personnel matters. The termination. I think that needs to come off where it says superintendent recommends the termination.
So we'll just say the
Termination
termination
of.
Just termination of.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's, yeah.
And that was on,
That's it.
that was on the very first, the January
Yeah,
13th,
right.
right?
So number 1 is
As revised.
as revised. Yeah.
Anything else?
All I found.
Anyone else? All right. With number 1, as revised, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And number 9, consider for approval the purchase requisition order and quotes in excess of $5,000. And we have an addendum to that as well.
Yes. Motion to approve.
Motion by Johnita,
Second.
second by Randy. Any questions or concerns on those purchases? The
The addendum is, we're buying some,
hot water heaters.
hot water boilers and storage tanks for Fort Gay. They're just at the end of their life and they need replaced.
The sign language this is the
This is instructors that Mount West
provides
provides.
for us.
Yeah.
We use our levy funds for that.
Yes.
What is the, on page 16, yearly subscription for e-school documents? What exactly is that?
They have, it's a document system where they keep all of their,
Notes. it looks
all of
like.
their notes, that where they're working with kids. They keep those in a file system. And that is, something that they put in place, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago.
It's probably
It's all their case notes are stored in that document.
part of the billing process. You have
Yeah.
to have your documents too.
Yeah.
In order to bill for those services.
It's not expensive, but as many people as use it, that's what
Right.
drives the price up.
Well, I mean, it's $6,600. I was just wondering if it was something that our technology department should be able to do a program, write a program or something to provide those services.
I think the concern back when we first did it was,
It's
this,
pretty specific.
yeah, and it was the security
Yeah,
associated with it since it's technically
Obviously.
medical.
right.
And so it's, I think that was the reason, but I'll have them look at it again.
Yeah, I mean, little dollars make big dollars in the long run.
Yeah.
These
I've said
pay
that
for
before.
themselves actually because we bill for these services. So we get reimbursed for those services.
Well, I know that medical issues are, you don't violate those.
Yeah, you
You
don't
do
wanna-
at your peril.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to mess that up. So
And then we did on the addendum was the purchase of the water heaters,
right.
the 4 boilers with storage tanks, and we did bid those out. And Hajoka Corporation was the low bid.
Gotcha. All right. Any other questions or concerns? None heard? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. New business, separate action items. Number 1, consider for approval the out-of-state field trip request, Spring Valley JROTC, to travel to Port Clinton, Ohio, on February 14th.
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Randy, second Dennis. Any questions or concerns?
And that's February 11th through February
Oh, I'm sorry.
14th. It's a multi-day trip.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Out-of-state field trip request for East Lynn faculty to travel to Get Your Teach On conference in Orlando, Florida, July 4th through the 8th. And this is funded by Title II Professional Development Fund.
Motion.
Motion by Randy, second
I second again.
Dennis. Questions, concerns? Again, this is funded by
Title II.
Title II, which
Yeah, it
is
has to be
specific.
used for
Yeah.
PD.
So this is always a good conference too. We've had them here a couple times. I think they've been, yeah.
I'm gonna go on it.
Oh,
So I'm
excellent.
thankful that if you approved it, because we previously had like $5,000 in Title I funds. And so it's really hard to manage an entire school with that. And this year we got a quite larger budget. So we are choosing to spend that on professional development for teachers to become better.
Fantastic.
Great.
Very
I'm
good.
excited.
Great.
I'd still like to be going.
If you need a wing,
You
yeah.
can get in my luggage if you
Right.
want. I'll take you in.
I could oversee, I could chaperone.
Absolutely.
You're not running for reelection. That's after your term. ends.
I feel
You're free.
hard,
You're
you know?
free. That's right. You're off.
I'm off, I'm free.
All right. Any other questions or concerns? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Enjoy yourself. Number 3, consider for approval authorizing the superintendent to begin the process of disposal of real property, specifically the board's remaining property at the site of the former Westmoreland Middle School.
Motion.
Johnita,
Randy
Randy.
beat me.
All right.
In your packet of information, the last document in there,
I lost my packet.
Oh,
it's item number 7.
you want to look at mine?
I don't know, I've got it here somewhere,
It's buried.
somewhere.
What's in that? Is that it?
No, that's it. That's it. I brought them home.
My bad.
This is the
Oh,
Westmoreland,
there it is.
yeah,
Got it.
this is the Westmoreland property.
Yes.
And so the former cafeteria, I've been talking to the Wayne County Community Services Organization about that former cafeteria property. And they had believed that the board had transferred that property to them. We've had this discussion before.
Yeah.
So I went
Mhm.
back to revisit that with the gentleman that did our work when we were transferring the gym over
All right.
to the Historical Society. And what color is this line here?
Green.
Red
Green.
Yeah, that big one is green. The one around this is red.
and green.
Okay. The green line is the property that was deeded over.
Okay.
So we still own the former cafeteria.
Okay.
We still own the parking lot out front.
That's interesting.
Wow.
I think in the deed, it gave them the right to use it, but that property is definitely still ours. So, we're working to bring that to resolution. But what I'm talking about here is the permission to move forward with the West Edition to solicit offers on that. And I can do that any way that you want. I think what I was thinking about doing first was just putting out the communications to the nonprofits in the area that we are looking to move on from that property to see if anybody wants to make a proposal for us.
I think that'd be good.
Mhm.
Is that everybody okay with that?
I am.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there any other property that we have that we're using currently that is in worse shape than this property that maybe we could utilize this property since it's a better shape than something else out in the county where we've got people,
I don't think so.
No.
our curriculum group is, are they better off at the old cafeteria?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, as long as we can't utilize it for anything better for our staff, then
Well, and again, we'll just solicit offers and,
see.
we'll make a decision if you want to do something with it at that point in
Yeah.
time. But this is the property that we served notice that we were intending to close it down as of June 30th.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Do we vote?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Potential items for a future agenda.
So we have the calendar approval coming up that I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
and we'll get to those low bids on those projects that we need to do. But that's all I have right now.
Anyone else?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
The other properties that we've discussed before that are in the county, one on Lick Creek, there's one on Park Hill, there's some other ones. Are we looking into putting those up for public auction?
Trying to identify all of them. So I've contacted. Remind me who I contacted.
Craig. Evans.
Yes, Craig Evans. I contacted Craig Evans late last week and told him that, we had worked with the surveyor's office down at the bottom floor and that we thought we had a exhaustive list, but it appears that there might be some other properties out there. So he is, he's working to see what he can find for us.
And when we get those, we don't have to wait till we find them all. Can we go ahead with 2 that we know?
Sure.
Go ahead and sell those?
That'd be good. Is that where the Lick Creek School was? Or do you know?
Long time ago.
Well, I know that.
So was the Tark Hill one.
Tell me about it. Yeah. But I know, I remember Lick Creek.
Was that Tark Hill property,
in
a school
school.
property?
It was school property. All these little one-room schools was all
Yeah.
over this county.
Yeah, that's what Lick Creek was too. then.
Yeah, still.
I just wonder where it is on Lick Creek. I may have to do a road trip.
Find it.
I started out teaching at a two-room school, Haney.
Yeah, we've heard
That was
yeah.
close to Lit Creek, wasn't it?
We'll see if we can get it on the next
Brush
agenda
Creek.
for those two.
Yeah,
We have somebody interested in them.
The Turk Hill, yeah,
yeah, they should be.
the bordering property reached out to me and said if we ever got rid of it, that they'd be interested in it.
Perfect.
That's right.
Move
And
on.
there's interest in the other one also.
That's great. Find some more.
Yeah.
We need the money.
Can't hurt.
Amen.
Can't hurt, right?
Have we been maintaining those? Or they just been left to?
Left to dry or grow up and probably. All right, anything else? Anyone else?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Johnita.
Y'all
Second?
miss me when I'm gone.
I know.
Second.
We're gonna be sitting here all night.
All night. That's right.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. It is 6:56. Thank you all.
Thank you, fans.
Thank you, everybody. All right.